Good morning. This is Jerry Lee with Three Sisters Broom Shop, and today I want to show you how to take a cobwebber that looks like this and fluff it up and shape the ends of the broom corn. This one is on a stick. It's a handle that I forage. I forage all of my own handles. The broom corn on here has the stalk that it was grown with. It's called knurl, N-U-R-L. That means that the broom corn is the least processed of the broom corns unless it has the seeds on it. The stalks are usually much longer. They've been trimmed, as you can see. I do that after I do the weaving on the top and after I get it on the stick. And it's stitched and it's ready to be adopted, except that it's kind of straight, don't you think? So a cobwebber is made out of knurl for a few reasons. One is, and the most important one to me, is that it's the least processed, so it's in a bunch of different lengths. These are 3 different colors of dye. I did 3 different colors. This one has a real dark pink red kind of thing. It's got a golden yellow and a nice blue going on. The name of this particular broom is called Carnival. These brooms tell me what their names are. I don't choose it. When I picked the broom corn, it told me that's what its name was supposed to be. So the reason cobwebbers are made out of this is because it is a non-uniform length of broom corn, and that means that it can get all the old tired cobwebs so your spiders can make new ones, or you can just move the cobwebs out so if you want them to rehome to somewhere. But you know, all of us get cobwebs. Here's a funny little story. I talked to a guy who produced something for me for my other business. I'm also a tool manufacturer for the commercial embroidery industry. And this guy had done a lot of work on my behalf, the shop foreman. So I gave him a cobwebber, and I swear to God, this is a true story. He asked me what it was. And I explained what it was. It didn't have a wooden handle. It was one that was without a wooden handle because I make 2 styles, a shorter one and then this longer one. But he asked me why would he need a cobwebber? And I had seen cobwebs at his place. So I thought maybe he could use it. And he looked me right in the eye and he said, "I'm single. I don't get cobwebs." I don't know. I think he just hung it up as a decoration. I'm not really sure what, but I can attest to the fact that it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter your relationship status. Everybody gets cobwebs. It's just the spiders don't discriminate, and they don't have preference as to how many human beings are in the house or if there's any. So anyway, this one, as you can see, even though it's all nice and stitched and ready to go, it's flat on the end. It's just straight. And that to me is an unfinished broom, if you will. I've even got the hanging loop on it. Usually I do what I'm about to do before I do that, but I'm going to do that now. So what I do when I do this is I take my hand and I just take the broom corn and I start bending it. Broom corn is really resilient. It's extremely resilient. It's got a waxy coating on it, and that's why it takes heat to get the dye into the broom corn. You cannot cold dye heat. You cannot cold dye broom corn. I've tried. I've got hundreds of dollars out in the shop of dye that is not doing me any good for this particular thing, and it'll have to be used elsewhere. But you can see already that what we had just a minute ago is no longer, and that's because I took my hand and I bent it. And I'm just working the ends. I'm not wrenching it. I'm not yanking it. It will break if you're persistent about it. The idea is just to guide it to maybe a shape that you would like it to be. I'm also going to fan it out a little bit. I am going to bend it out a little bit and make it a little more floofy. When it goes into the box that it will go home in, I buy specific boxes for every tool that I ship. The spindles, the broom kits, the brooms themselves, everything has a box that is made for that item. And I do that for a reason. I want everything to arrive the way it's supposed to. in a nice and neat fashion. I don't ship anything in envelopes or anything like that. I don't know anybody who does. It's not about anybody else. It's about what I do. Everything comes in a box, and that's very intentional. I want what you purchase from me to come to you in good shape. That's my job, and so I do that. So this particular item, if it was a single purchase, would go into a box that is 4 inches by 4 inches by 48 inches on this one, I'm sure. Yeah, 48 inches on this one. Some of the smaller ones will go into a box that's 36 inches long and 4 inches by 4 inches wide and height. The reason I do that is so that there's not a lot of movement in the box, but also to conserve space with the shipping company. You don't need to have a whole lot of extra box. The spindles, not that you're asking about that, but since I'm floofing, I'll tell you. Spindles go into a box that's 36 inches by 12 by 12. And the reason that is because the stand that the broom spindles come on, it's a foot brake. It's what I use for full-size brooms. And sometimes the cobwebbers, not on this one. But the stand has a very long dowel that goes through the broom spindle. And so that box has to be 36 inches to accommodate that. So at this point, you can see what I have now is a pretty floofed out cobwebber. And if I didn't want it that much, then I could just kind of floof it back a little bit. But now this will get into every single corner of every little area, and it'll catch webs everywhere. And if this is too messy for somebody, I can just kind of smooth it back. As you can see, it's really, really resilient. I'm not wrenching on it. I'm just gently guiding it to where I want it to go with a firmness that it can't deny. It's got to do what I'm asking it to do because I'm asking. And it wants to. This is probably one of the most fanned out, wildest ended cobwebbers I've ever done. When it goes in the box, it would, of course, go in like so. And when it comes out of the box, it'll fan out. So, this is the cobwebber. It's now complete. It can now be adopted. Its name is Carnival. It'll be on the site on Saturday, this coming Saturday, which is day after tomorrow, at noon Pacific Standard Time. I am in North Idaho, so everything is Pacific Standard Time. And that's it. Alrighty. And that's how you floof a cobwebber. Have a good day. Bye.